COVID-19 injectables and those who did not. Decades ago, Silicon Valley guru Ray Kurzweil said that by 2045, most of human civilization will be non-biological machines, thanks to the advancements of nanorobots, which could cure aging and death. Wow.
Understand something here. A conspiracy is a legal term. It's a criminal law term. It's a crime. It's a felony under federal law. It is an agreement between two or more people to plan a crime and one step in furtherance. That's the definition. So when people run around saying it's a conspiracy, probably it is. A conspiracy theory is something called probable cause. That's what cops use to arrest people. So it's easy to attach this label and say, oh, well, we're not going to listen to that anymore because it was labeled this. Well, think for yourselves a little bit. Where did that label come from, how, and why? It's because people are planning a criminal enterprise and taking one step in furtherance, thus a conspiracy. It's an appropriate name. I just want people to understand its real use.
But actually, there's something I was just kind of looking through and I found this. I had saved this because I want to talk to you about it. I'm not sure if you probably saw this, but this is from 7Cs over on Twitter. He's got a lot of good research. He says MIT has developed bioelectronic devices that after IV injection are trafficked through the circulatory system and implant autonomously in brain regions of inflammation. He says they also demonstrate that they enable wirelessly controlled focal stimulation of deep brain regions such as ventrolateral thalamic nucleus in the rodent brain, providing a non-surgical brain implant for focal neuromodulation, right? Neuromodulation is control of the brain, right? Or control the nervous system.
Yeah.
That takes advantage of immune cells' natural trafficking of sites to inflammation. They have given electronics that circulate through the vasculature the name circulatronics. This is exactly what you're talking about. It says these battery-free subcellular devices made of a soft polymer are designed to gently wrap around different parts of neurons, such as axons and dendrites, without damaging the cells upon wireless activation with light. By snugly wrapping neuronal processes, they could be used to measure or modulate a neuron's electrical or metabolic activity at a subcellular level. So it's like this, and again, this is just what they're telling us. So it's like, okay, well if MIT is publishing this publicly, what's going on behind the scenes?
Is the leader in this, in understanding this, but it's light frequencies. And one of the other things we came to understand in studying the effect of cesium-137 on a body, and cesium-137, by the way, was a listed ingredient in the shots. Not only that, but we found it in the tests that we did of people that got the shots. But one of the things it does is it takes frequencies in the 5G range and it amplifies them into the 6G range. So that's taking gigahertz and transferring them into terahertz. Terahertz is the light range. So when you talk about these things now interacting with light, we actually found there's a glycoprotein called mCherry, MCHERRY, and it has the ability to turn your heart on and off when it's introduced to a certain frequency range of light. So of course it is, but this is called optogenetics, and that's all part of the plan to integrate our bodies to be usable as machines. And our government doesn't hide from this anymore. They actually call it what it is. There's a division of HHS called SynBio, stands for synthetic biology. And this is a whole of government approach. It's been fully funded. When you look through the documents where they integrate all of this into the government.
So far, optogenetics has had a lot of impact in the scientific world, but it hasn't been used in any human patients yet. There are a couple reasons why. One is that it requires a gene therapy to deliver the gene that encodes for these light-activated molecules into the body. Currently in the US, there are no FDA-approved gene therapies.
That was the problem 10 years ago. But the COVID-19 plandemic gave these mad scientists an excuse to inject billions of humans with a mysterious cocktail of nanotech. And researchers at La Quinta Columna have pointed out the possible relationship between the injections and the invisible light, which is constantly flashing from our mobile phones. We are told that this is for facial recognition. But how can we trust the official narrative when it's coming from transhumanist mass murderers? Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese. A peer-reviewed study published last Friday documented 55 undeclared chemical elements which have been detected in the COVID gene therapy technology from brands Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, CanSino, Sinopharm, and Sputnik V, including several toxic elements such as aluminum, titanium, arsenic, lead, and uranium. The researchers have deduced that the COVID gene therapy technology injections are part of a secret worldwide nanotechnological experimentation program. These crimes against humanity have still gone unanswered, and we do not know what the intended outcome of it all was.
Look at this video from a guy from YouTube called Bees Don't Fly in the Dark. Just look at it. Does it remind you of something? Remember, bees don't fly in the dark. Well, most bees don't. Okay. Peace, everybody. Hello, my name is Helen Godfrey. I'm a real gang stalking victim, real targeted individual. So I just got, there was another gang stalking victim back in the day named Kevin Christensen, Mr. Targeted Individual, and he talked about being hit in the bone of your fingers, just like in the bone of your fingers, inside your fingers. It's kind of weird. So, like I said before, my name is Talon Godfrey, and I'm a real gang stalking victim, a real targeted individual. I protest gang stalking at the Santa Monica Pier. I'm at the Octavia Lab. This is one of the worst places I have ever been to as a gang stalking victim, is this fucking lab. I get zap, stinged, zinged, phantom touch attack all the time, especially in the back, which happened when I first sat down in the seat, but I get hit on the sides, I get hit in the leg, in the butt. I get hit underneath the seats. It's this library, downtown Los Angeles Central Library, is one of the weirdest places ever to be a gang stalking victim, because you got so many people who are down and out. And then you have these little piece of poo gang stalkers. I don't know what they're gonna do when this nanotech takes over and this 5G and 6G get more advanced. I don't know. I think they're gonna be executed or disappeared, or they're gonna join the unemployment line. I don't know. But this is one of the weirdest places right here. So anyway, like I said before, my name is Talon Godfrey, and I'm a real gang stalking victim, and I will stop. Actually, I just want to say hello to you, Andre. I'm your mom. Happy Thanksgiving Day. I'm still fighting for us, Andre, and I love you and I miss you. I think about you all the time. Your rest of your family members miss you as well, like your Aunt Galen and your grandma and your grandfather. We all miss you. We all think about you and we love you all the time. And yes, Andre, you was a gang stalking victim when you was 6 years old. So I just want to say hello to you, Andre, and I'm thinking about you constantly. Everybody else, have a good day and enjoy this video. I just want to say, wasn't that refreshing of some dude talking about aspects of gang stalking? Yes, he does. He talks about nanotechnology and the wide body network and the IEEE. Same thing that Stephanie the Secret, the fake gang stalking victim, Sabrina Wallace, nanotech in the human body, nanotech in the human body, and Jesse Beltran both been talking about this for a while, but it's refreshing that more people are talking about this. And he doesn't tie this to gang stalking necessarily, but if you watch the other people from since 2020 to now, you understand that some of this is tied to gang stalking. And remember, gang stalking had nothing to do with religion or spirituality. Gang stalking had nothing to do with supernatural, paranormal, and metaphysical. Gang stalking had nothing to do with astral projection, psychic ability, tarot cards, monitoring spirits, or that freaking thing called the Chosen One. The Chosen One is the Indigo Child Prophecy rebranded. Everyone who says otherwise is a willing propagandist involved in a psychological operation campaign at PSYOPS to get you and me in trouble. There are so many fake gang stalking victims on YouTube, commenting on all these other social media websites. It's ridiculous. And I will get into some of these fake gang stalking victims later on in this video, especially this new dude who is talking about the 144K. Listen, you read your Bible, the 144K was about the original, about virgin males from the original 12 tribes of Israel. Chances are you are not a virgin man from the original 12 tribes of Israel, so that doesn't count. And you had so many females claiming that they was part of the 144K, and I'm like, I don't think the Bible did trans. That's just me. I don't think that's part of the Bible. But these people, they're just narcissists, and they just love to take things out of context. As long as they get attention and some YouTube money and some YouTube fame, as long as nobody calls them out, they're gonna keep on doing it. So, like I said before, just watch out for these fakes.
Welcome to Man in America, a voice of reason in a world gone mad. I'm your host, Seth Holhouse. As we witness what's happening in the world around us, we're seeing a lot of things that are pretty scary. And I'd say that the number one thing that concerns me is the development of AI and the technology that could be used in conjunction with AI to control us, the technocratic system, and not the digital prison like that you might think of in terms of you looking at China, the social credit scores. I think it's all part of it. But the much deeper and much more frightening aspect of that is the nanotech that they are putting into our bodies through vaccines, through aerosolized sprays, through mosquitoes, and much more. But then if you break down this plan and where it leads to, you can't look at it without really diving into the battle of good versus evil and the fact that they're trying to use these AI systems and this technology to bypass our own free will, which is God-given. And if you look at it from that lens, it's frightening, but it also gives you a lot of hope.
Because as you read through literature, what you come to find is that it's a genetic modification of your body, not just to change you into a new species so they can own you, but it's for the purpose of harnessing you and integrating your body into the AI matrix, right? So they bring AI into the whole of government. Those computers are now networked into people. How do I know that? Again, I've got a whistleblower. She is a network engineer. Her job is to access people's wireless body area networks and integrate them into the hospital computers. She's been doing this for years now. The technology exists, it's wireless. And what I'm saying to you is the components in these shots, whether delivered by mosquito or delivered by syringe, is immaterial. It's the exact same chemical compounds, and most importantly, something called causative agents that change your body around. They mutate it into a tool to be used for data storage, cloud computing, and power supply. Right? And then we demonstrated to you some time ago, there was actually a company that was harnessing people's biorhythms. They had already used 1.4 trillion heartbeats to mine cryptocurrency. Well, where did I see that before? Oh, yeah, the Bill Gates patent, WIPO 2020060606. Right? That patent was awarded in 2020. Before all of this unfolded, the point I'm trying to make here is the leave behind technology was already installed in, and now for those that they missed, there are mosquito drones or rat drones or whatever you want to call them that are being delivered, that are programmed to deliver these things. And when you start to understand the integration, Professor Giordano from Georgetown University is talking about 10 years ago, when the nanobots are inside the brain, because they pass the blood-brain barrier, biodistribution as a whole of body, they have the ability to change the way people think, even on an ad hoc individual basis. Now you understand that this isn't just some one-off thing. This wasn't just some mistake. This has been planned for a very long time, and it is global in every respect. The question I have for you, Seth, is what are we going to do about it? And I have some ideas, but it's here. This is not speculation. And on that note, I want people to understand. Let me just add this. These mosquitoes are emergency use authorized, no different than the COVID shots. Why would you need to get a mosquito licensed? Right? So that tells you that this is genetically modified, is loaded with pathogens, because they actually had to get it used as a medical device, EUA. Otherwise, mosquitoes are the invention of God. You can't patent those. You don't license those. So here we are. This is a medical device, as they call it.
And what about,
Trippy.
It's just creepy. But so what is this? So what is the World Mosquito Program?
Yeah, it's another fraud. So no different than we had the COVID fraud. They took flu and turned it into something different. The same thing here. So the story goes that, there's this horrible thing called dengue fever, and it's mosquito borne, and all of that is true. However, Bill Gates and his team, this is WHO, Gates, the usual suspects, said we're going to genetically modify mosquitoes, male mosquitoes, such that when they mate with the females, they'll make the females incapable of reproducing. So that's the idea, is that somehow that we're going to get rid of dengue by killing off all the female mosquitoes. Female mosquitoes, the ones that bite and pass disease. So we hear. However, everywhere that they have built one of these factories and are releasing billions a day of these mosquitoes, the dengue fever rate goes up by 400% or more. So it's obviously not eradicating mosquitoes. It's obviously not eradicating dengue fever. It's just another pretext. If you can imagine, Seth, they have an air wing. They have an air force, the World Mosquito Program. You can look it up for yourself. We noticed this because I was looking on ForeFlight. I'm a pilot, and I was looking at this aircraft flying around the Florida Keys. And you look at the owner, you can click on it. So, holy cow, that's the World Mosquito Program. And then there were two more of them on other parts of the Keys, and they were dropping their mosquitoes all over the Florida Keys. But you can look it up on, Flight Tracker, things of that nature. They have their own freaking Air Force deploying genetically modified mosquito drones that are actually licensed by the FDA, if you can imagine this. No different than the EUA shots they passed around to the world in the first instance. It's another means of doing the exact same job, using a synbio needle and syringe. That's the only difference.
Recently published research from Korea and Japan confirm previous reports we've heard of nanotech in the COVID-19 injectables. Contents of the COVID-19 injectables produced by Pfizer and Moderna were examined under a stereo microscope at 400 times magnification. Specimens were cultured in different media to observe the effect they had on living cells. The study concluded that the anomalous injuries that have occurred worldwide since the injectables were pressed upon billions of individuals were caused by the nanotechnology contents of the COVID-19 injectables. The research found cellular toxicity, and over the course of a few weeks, simple one-dimensional structures grew into complex three-dimensional structures. Numerous artificial self-assembling nano-sized objects of many different shapes, including animated worm-like entities, discs, chains, spirals, tubes, and right-angle structures containing other artificial structures within them. Some structures even seemed to appear and then disappear over time. All of this was found to be well beyond any expected and acceptable levels of contamination. This was first reported on nearly 3 years ago by Ricardo Delgado and La Quinta Columna out of Spain, who found a relationship between the nanotech and 5G. The Fifth Column recently published their findings and conclusions on the strange self-assembling nanotech they discovered in the Pfizer mRNA vaccines via optical microscopy analysis. The objects they found in the vaccine correspond with known items in the scientific record, and the conclusion they come to seems quite clear, that the well-documented scientific goal to use nanotechnology in living human beings to form networks capable of controlling several nanomachines. Using dark field microscopy, Dr. Ana Maria Mielchia has found these same artificial nanostructures in the blood of both those who got the COVID-19 injectables and those who did not. Decades ago, Silicon Valley guru Ray Kurzweil said that by 2045, most of human civilization will be non-biological machines, thanks to the advancements of nanorobots, which could cure aging and death.
So I hope you
So I hope you found that video entertaining. This is nanotech. Look at the screen. This is nanotech, one word. Remember, there's nanotech, two words, and there's nanotechnology when you go on this dude's platform. Like I said, this is some of the stuff that Jesse Beltran been talking about, all right, on this platform, and many times, okay? So just be careful where you're getting your information from, because when you look up gang stalking on YouTube, ComicTube, and all these other social media websites, they keep mixing gang stalking with religion and spirituality. They keep mixing gang stalking with supernatural, the paranormal, the metaphysical. They keep mixing gang stalking with tarot cards, astral projection, psychic ability, monitoring spirits, or that thing called the Chosen One. And the Chosen One is the Indigo Child Prophecy rebranded, and I have proved the Chosen One when it comes to gang stalking was a scam and a fraud, like a long time ago. Check my channel out. But you just be careful, just be careful. I do like this video, by the way. Okay, so like I said, we're going to talk more about gang stalking, and I'm going to expose the fakes, and I do that in every single video. Okay, so let's do time and date. Where's time and date? This is time and date. Let's refresh. Okay, so let's go over the fakes. Let's go over it. That's a fake one right there, but that's not what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so this is gang stalking. This is gang stalking 2-word tag AI overview. Of course, they say gang stalking is a delusion of some type, and you have a mental illness, and a lot of people reject mental illness diagnosis. But like, if you have, video evidence from Dr. Robert Duncan, Dr. Matthew Aaron, Dr. John Hall, Ted Gunderson, the former top cop of Los Angeles County. You have the former NSA analyst Karen Stewart, the former Army intelligence officer Julian McKinney. Just look for all these videos on my channel. If you have the lawyer Cheryl Welch, and so many other people with degrees, right, proving that what you are going through is not a mental illness, it's a crime. It's a freaking crime, right? Why would you accept somebody's mental illness diagnosis who not going to look at the evidence, don't care about the evidence? Okay, they just want to prescribe you some pills. Okay, so why am I going to pay attention to those people when I can pay attention to the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, and the scientists that actually care to look at what I have to say and listen? I've been talking about this stuff since early 2000s, the early 2000s, and we're in 2025 going to 2026. Why would I believe some mental health professional who don't even care about the science that backs up all those people that I just said earlier? Like, no, I'm not listening to you. I'm so sorry. So like I said before, this is gang stalking, one word. Sorry, this is gang stalking, two words. And if you happen to find a mental health provider that's willing to listen to you, then go ahead and stick with that one. But there's so many mental health providers that don't care. They just don't care. Either they are comfortable with all this stuff being a mental illness, or they just don't like you, or they're getting paid, or they're corrupt. Okay, you go down that rabbit hole. I've already been down it. So you find a good mental health provider that's willing to listen. If you got a whole bunch of engineers, scientists, and doctors, lawyers, law enforcement officers, people in the intelligence agencies saying this is what it is. Okay, but like I said before, nanotech is coming into the situation more and more. So I don't know how the nanotech is going to tie into gang stalking. But a lot of people say a lot of this gang stalking is more nanotech. Okay, so here it is. This is gang stalking 2-word tag AI overview. So let's go to the AI mode and see what kind of lie it's going to say. Yep, a lot more bull crap. Okay, skip. So this is psychoelectronic weapon. Single effects plural. This is more honest than what it usually is. Of course, they're going to say that you need a mental health provider. Okay, but here it is. Okay, this is psychoelectronic weapons effects, AI overview. Okay. Okay, not much else is going on to psychoelectronic weapon, single effects, plural, AI mode. So let's shut this thing down. This is psychoelectronic weapons effects, is Popular Mechanics magazine. So when you go to this page right here, psychoelectronic weapons effects, Popular Mechanics magazine, you can look at all the stuff that I experienced as a real gang stalking victim. Well, most of the stuff I experienced as a real gang stalking victim, most of it. But then you watch the old 60 Minutes Havana Syndrome episodes, 60-minute Havana Syndrome episodes, and that brings my situation, makes it more clear, okay? Okay, so this is not a mental illness. This is a weapon system, okay, in a control grid being used against my will, being forced upon me against my will. I did not sign a permission slip nor a consent form for any of this shit, and I'm not going to be compensated for the pain and suffering that me and my family went through. So no, this is a crime. Okay, this is total individual control technology, AI mode right here. Okay. Yeah, it does talk about conspiracy theories and psychotronic weapons, blah, 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 blah. There's a little bit of gang stalking, okay, right here. But like I said, this stuff changes all the time. The AI mode and AI overview of Google just changes all the time. This is the AI mode right here. Nothing much changed. Okay, this is total individual control technology, and this is the 911.nwo blog. We're going to click on it, and all this stuff came out in 2016, so it's kind of outdated, but this is a nice starting point, and just keep scrolling down. Okay, nice starting point. Okay, so this is time and date. We're refreshing. Okay. We're gonna close this thing down about the bees shutting down because it's dark. Okay, shut down, keep up, and be shutting down. So like I said before, a lot of the older gang stalking victims content, if you can still find it, a lot of the real stuff, if you can find it, is evergreen. This is Welcome to Your Electronic Concentration Camp. I suggest you click on this one because it's 10 years old. This stuff is evergreen, to be honest with you, and this just ties more into what Dr. Robert Duncan was talking about. This ties into more about what Sabrina Wallace, nanotech in the human body, what she was talking about, what she been talking about. Okay, let's go look up Sabrina Wallace while I'm still here. Okay, Sabrina Wallace. Okay, hold on. Okay, microwaving humans for their own safety. Sabrina Wallace, nanotech in the human body. Okay, so here it is. This nice woman been talking about the nanotech in the human body for a really, really long time. But she got the stuff that she can back up her stuff. She can back up her stuff when most people can't. And Sabrina Wallace was not talking about no chosen one. She wasn't talking about no 144K. She wasn't talking about that. She can back up her stuff with U.S. patent numbers. So I suggest you watch this video right here. Okay. Where am I at? Let's go back to this. So the more the older videos that talked about gang stalking and this AI nanotech grid that we're going into in the year 2025, going into 2026, if you look at the older videos from back in the day, it's evergreen. So I'm going to download this video and I'm going to put it on my YouTube page. All right. So here's time and date. So let's go over the fakes, okay? Like I said before, I don't know what this they call it the reptilian tongue thing. Here it is. You can go to this channel right here, and you can just look at this woman doing it on stage, okay? They call it the reptilian tongue thing. Now, I thought this reptilian tongue thing was some CIA, NSA joke, whatever. I thought it was a big old joke, but people just keep on doing it. Like, yeah, we can see you doing it, but people just keep on doing it. And what I'm noticing is the fake gang stalking victims, the fake long as the fake gang stalking victims are doing it, mixing gang stalking with religion and spirituality. You see that chosen one, and you see this man doing that reptilian tongue thing. By the way, this is only a minute and 10 seconds into this dude video right here, and he done the reptilian tongue thing like 4 separate times in the first minute and 10 seconds. Okay, so the fakes who does the reptilian tongue thing just gets super promoted. Okay, not all of them, but a good chunk of them. See, this is another one doing the reptilian tongue thing. This dude does it so many times in the first half of the video. It's freaking ridiculous, dude. Like, both of these men look like they have enough money to go to the Dollar Tree and get some chapstick. Okay, but you can see that's what they do. That's what you do. I get censored. I get shadow banned, blacklisted, and delisted, you know. But these people can just do all this and they'll get promoted. Now, this video right here, this is another fake gang stalking victim, just like all the others. They don't want you recording. Why don't you want people recording a crime? They don't want you recording a crime. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. Another religious person is telling his audience, don't record. Don't record the people who committing crime against you, right? Because you're going to notice that once you start recording, you're going to catch something. All right?
It's terrifying. A man caught on security tape breaking into a home. What made this even more shocking is the identity of the intruder. It was 43-year-old Marie Columna's pastor. There he was in her kitchen, clearly identifiable.
When you follow God's vision.
And it's not just any church. 49-year-old Sergio Guardia was a pastor at a mega church, the 24,000-member Thomas Road Baptist Church in Lynchburg, Virginia. But after...
Okay, so now you understand why this man right here, this grown man, is going to tell his audience, okay, not to record a crime. Now you know why. Because if people, like back in the day, that's why you had Dr. Robert Duncan, Dr. Matthew Aaron, Dr. Terence Robertson, and all these professional people with degrees in various fields proving that gang stalking was real through a legal and scientific lens. These people who are doing this to you, they don't want you to record, because once you start recording, you're going to start realizing the people who are gang stalking you, guess what? They're not demon possessed. You're not a chosen one. This is a crime. Somebody did this to you, and you're going to want some justice, and you're going to start talking about gang stalking through a legal and scientific lens, unlike this person right here. And more people are going to start talking to you and believing your story and spreading your story around to other people. It will spread, okay? That's why I do my protests at the Santa Monica Pier, and I try to do it through a legal and scientific lens, even though I don't know everything about gang stalking, especially that nanotechnology and the wide body network and the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Things. But whatever this gang stalking actually is not what these men are talking about. It's not what these men are talking about. And if people start taking me and other real gang stalking victims seriously by talking about gang stalking through a legal and scientific lens, the best way that we know how, these people ain't gonna have a job. These people ain't gonna get, YouTube money, okay? There's a reason why Terry Joel Jr. don't talk about gang stalking no more. This is Terry Joel Jr., one of the biggest fake gang stalking victims of all time, and he don't talk about gang stalking no more, because he never talked about gang stalking in the first place. But he got called out so much and so bad that he just stopped doing it. Gang stalking 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 2. Okay, 2 years ago, gang stalking 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, so his last gang stalking video, okay, was 2 years ago, because he got called out. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, because then you would see that even 4 years ago he was talking about that stupid chosen one. Okay, but he got called out and he had some integrity. So he just went on and started talking about New Age stuff. And, you know, he was very, very successful because he got 133,000 subscribers, you know. That's what I wish these fake gang stalking victims would do. Just go talk about some New Age bibbity bobbity gobbity book like Terry Joe Jr. and leave gang stalking alone, because gang stalking is a crime. It's nothing to do with religion or spirituality or the New Age movement. But these fakes do not care. They don't care. So we gotta call them out. Call them out. And their reptilian tongue thing that they constantly keep doing in their videos. So let's talk more about some fake gang stalking victims. This woman's fake, talking about some chakras and gang stalking, man. F this woman. But I don't want to F her, but you may. But she lied. You got SRGB just talking about some random bull crap. I think it was this video right here when he talked about, you know, Terminators and Skynet. If you paid any attention to those Terminator movies, Skynet had a time machine. So if they truly wanted to get rid of John Connor, they could have just red-rummed his great-great-grandparents at any time, because they had a time machine. But, you know, you have this grown man mixing gang stalking and targeted individuals, that chosen one crap, saying that you are a chosen one, like John Connor, not realizing that they already killed John in what Terminator movie was that? It was like a horrible Terminator movie. Terminator. Dark Fate. There it is. They killed John Connor in this movie. We'll see if we can find his death. Okay, I'm sorry. John Connor's death, you see? They read from this dude. But there it is right there. Hold on.
The current time is.
So this man talks about the semen retention and mixed in it with gang stalking as well, like all the others. No, this dude just makes really stupid content on purpose. Okay, so if you see somebody mixing gang stalking with narcissism, that's fake. Gang stalking had nothing to do with narcissism. But if you see any of these people having ads in their video, they're monetized. Now, I'm going to see if I can find the George Webb clip that talks about gang stalking perps want you poor. So if you're talking about gang stalking on these social media websites, you wouldn't be monetized. You wouldn't be making money. Okay.
Because of that, I ended up in the program, in the TI program. Sort of a modern COINTELPRO. I think it might be called Disrupt and Discredit, or Disrupt and Destroy, D&D for short. But the idea is very much like the old Stasi program, to basically decompose the person's life, ruin their relationships, get them fired from their job when they're out of money, and then they're homeless, and they get sick, and then they die. And then do that to their whole family if you really don't like them.
Okay, so just watch it. Just watch. Just be careful about these fakes and their monetization, okay? Yeah, this is another fake gang stalking victim, mixing gang stalking with narcissism. Okay. Let's see if we can click on it. Is there an ad? Okay. All right. No. Just be careful of this fake. Okay, yep, so this is the same fake gang stalking victim right here. Mixing, yeah. Your semen retention journey today. Yep, skip. This is another fake gang stalking victim. Okay, and you can see he's being monetized, so fake. Okay, I already called him out twice. This woman, I don't think she's monetized, but this woman was constantly doing the reptilian tongue thing as well. And then she just disappeared. Hopefully forever. Okay. Because you get sick and tired of these fakes being promoted. Okay, and you know they're lying. This is another fake gang stalking victim, and this is called the Do Indoctrination. I'm gonna see if I can find a video of him saying that, you know, all the information that Dr. Jose Delgado talked about, and General Army General Anthony Aquino and his psych ward document from the 1980s was wrong.
Electronic mind control research is not new.
Abilities
if from the outside we could modify the inside, could we give messages to the inside? But the beauty is that now we are not using electrodes.
In recent years, Delgado has shown that the behavior of monkeys can be altered using low-power, pulsating magnetic fields. But in these experiments, there were no antenna implants.
Any function in the brain, emotions, intellect, personality, well, could be perhaps modified by this non-invasive technology.
Delgado's research has so far been limited to animals. But in the Soviet Union, a radio frequency, or RF device, has been used for over 30 years to manipulate the moods of mental patients.
Psychological operations, PSYOPS, or as the government likes to call them now, military information support operations, are a very real part of war, and there's an entire division. Military insiders don't just think that fake news stories, propaganda pieces, and false flag attacks are enough to accomplish their goals, and so they've added some truly Orwellian and sadistic plans to the PSYOP toolbox. A lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army at the time named Michael Aquino, an admitted Satanist by the way, and founder of the Temple of Set, an offshoot of the Church of Satan, wrote a report for the Department of Defense in 1980 titled From PSYOP to Mind War that proposed using psychotronic weapons against the general public in order to alter people's brainwaves, thus altering their mood to coincide with government propaganda that was being broadcast. Aquino wrote, quote, infrasound vibration up to 20 hertz can subliminally influence brain activity to align itself to delta, theta, alpha, or beta wave patterns, inclining an audience towards everything from alertness to passivity. Infrasound could be used tactfully, as ELF waves endure for great distances, and it could be used in conjunction with media broadcasts as well, end quote. So basically, Lieutenant Colonel Aquino proposed zapping populations with invisible radio waves in order to make them anxious or lethargic, depending on how the government wanted them to feel at the time, and use this weapon, as he said, in conjunction with media broadcasts.
Okay, so this dude is a former druggy homeless person. Now, I used to be homeless, okay, but I never did drugs, and I can tell that Dr. Jose Delgado, CNN 1985, was right. Okay. This dude doesn't care. He just doesn't care. So he's another fake gang stalking victim. Okay. This is another fake gang stalking victim, and you can see the advertisement on the video. This is another fake gang stalking victim, and here's the advertisement on the video. Like I said before, journalist George Webb said that these gang stalkers want you poor. That's part of the Stasi program. You would not be making money talking about gang stalking on YouTube. This is another fake gang stalking victim. He just came out of the blue just recently, and he got the war against narcissism, but he claimed to be an expert on gang stalking. He's basically brand new. We'll type in gang stalking. Not there. Let's go back. Okay, let's go to his channel. Gang. So another fake. Okay, 1 month ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 9 days ago, 5 days ago. And then there he was, I guess, 4 years ago, and then he just dropped it. Okay, but this man's going to tell you what gang stalking is. No. He just chasing a fad. Okay, this is another fake gang stalking victim. Skip. This is Stephanie the Seeker, and there's an ad on her video, as you can see right here. And she's doing the same thing with the chosen ones. And I will talk I will play a clip talking about Operation Armageddon, how they love mixing all this stuff with the New Age movement as a PSYOPs against everyone. Okay. All right. Peace. That's the